All right. Hey everyone, my name is Rich McCoy with the Berrien County GOP. Here with me tonight, Joel Studebaker, Ottawa County Chair, Jason Rogers, Washtenaw County Chair.
Mhm.
A few weeks ago, I got this text from Joel Studebaker about putting together kind of a candidate interview forum for vetting candidates. Joel, why don't you kind of tell folks what your idea here was tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rich. So my thought was that, it's really good for us as county GOPs to coordinate, and so I reached out to a couple of you guys, and we kind of put this little team together. The goal is, we as precinct delegates have a role according to state law where we're Republican precinct delegates, and we're elected to represent our precinct. We're elected to kind of represent the party at the county level. And, that kind of bubbles up. So we have district level and we have the state level. And certain roles, in this case, Attorney General and Secretary of State, but also the Supreme Court and the regents at the universities are selected at a county convention, or excuse me, a state convention. And so, yeah, the idea was to interview the candidates, and also, we together built the questionnaires and have them fill out questionnaires and record interviews so that we could provide that to delegates across the state and give them, some information that they can use to decide who they want to vote for at that March convention, especially for those folks that can't get out to some of the events as the candidates are traveling around the state and see them in person.
So, Jason, you kind of got drug into this kind of toward the end. If you were going to talk to sort of like the low propensity voter or the Republican who believes in being a Republican, but they're just not that involved at this point. Can you tell them about how to become a precinct delegate and kind of how that on ramps them into basically citizen leadership?
Sure. Yeah. First of all, anything Joel tells me to do, I just have to do it. I have no choice in the matter.
No.
Actually, I'm a newbie to this whole thing. I got involved. I think it was in 2020, or maybe in 2019, and I had the benefit of being recruited as a precinct delegate by someone here in Washtenaw County who is just a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal political brain. I think that really what encouraged me the most was being able to talk to somebody who knew this process so well. For me, I didn't know what being a precinct delegate really meant. I'd heard some rumors. Well, you have to show up to a few county conventions and maybe you go to state, and that's really all you have to do. And that's not what precinct delegates are. And I know that there are differences in opinion about what a precinct delegate should be, especially statutorily in Michigan. There are moves of folks in the state who want to keep precinct delegates at the lowest involvement and lowest engagement as possible so that they can rule their roofs, basically. Here in Washtenaw County, we think that's not the right thing to do. We think that precinct delegates are the foundation of the party in their precincts. We all have a voting precinct. You may not call it that, but that's what it is. It's a voting precinct. And the delegates that get elected in that precinct are supposed to be there to hear your concerns, to hear the things that you're wanting to take up the ladder, all the way up to the federal level. And without the precinct delegate, you really don't have much of a foundation, especially here in Michigan, where we have statutory requirements that we have to fulfill. So I'd say for the low propensity voter, they're the ones who like to, they may show up to vote if there's not some buck promising to get shot that day, or maybe if it's not raining or if it's not snowing, then maybe I'll show up. That's not always the low propensity voter. That's what we're told. But the low propensity voter usually is because they're just simply not educated enough. They don't know what's at stake.
Right.
I really truly believe that if most people understood what was at stake in our country, in our state, and in our counties, they would actually get involved. And so that's the way that we're tackling it from a precinct delegate
Wow.
recruitment standpoint, is that we need to engage the voter to teach them how to be a good voter. This is something Thomas Jefferson said. I won't be able to quote him word for word, but he said if the voter is uneducated, the fix is not to take the voter out of the equation. The fix is to educate them so they can be a good voter.
Very well said. In my own experience, I have only been involved for about the last 5 years or so in politics. But before then, I was just, a frustrated, Sunday morning political show watcher, where, and you didn't really know, you heard about Republican Party, but like, how do you get involved? What is that? Is that here, or where is it? And there's, and just through happenstance and a sequence of events, and COVID was a big catalyst for all that. I started meeting people and feeling the need that we have to get involved. There has to be. We're not gonna fix the country, and if you look at what was going on, the country seemed to be a kind of a set of broken promises, because when it came down to do we have rights, during COVID, the answer became unmistakably and undeniably no, because we didn't have elected leaders that, number one, understood what our rights were, and number two, had the courage to stand alone and stand up in the crowd and defend the people. And I think a lot of the grassroots in Michigan probably got started. Not everybody, but a lot of us got started during that time. And it's just been so wonderful to slowly meet people all across the state. And I would say that that's the big surprise to me, is how many of us there really are. And you run into them every day. And Jason, I just met you today, and it's it's just great. It's like every day you meet another patriot, and you realize that we just have to keep pushing the envelope, keep having great ideas like this one, Joel, keep getting regular patriots out on the screen, because a lot of people, they're tired of the polished politician who's, just in it to get their elected office, and then they move on. I think we're volunteers. We have nothing to gain. We're doing this for all unselfish purposes. I think we bring something to the table that no one else can bring, which is true citizen activism that we find time to do, and I appreciate you guys, and I'm proud of what we did tonight, and I hope the people appreciate it. So,
yeah. And if I can just add one thing,
Yeah.
Rich, we talked about the low propensity voters and kind of what you just said. I think, another angle of what low propensity voters are looking for is they're looking for passion. They're looking for candidates that are very passionate about their principles and about, the we the people that our founding fathers had in mind when you look at the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution and beyond, that and the precinct delegate is the we the people of the Republican Party. And so, I think our goal should be as Republicans to build and find and vet and bring candidates to the table that fit that kind of vein of passion that, draws a lot of people that say, these Republicans they're really doing something, and it's for we the people. And I want to get up and I want to go out and I want to vote for that. I want to be a part of this.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm about.
Yeah.
I think it's important to let everybody know that precinct delegates is a 2-year term, and the season for filing to become a precinct delegate is starting now. January, basically through, I don't know what the actual deadline is, April.
Deadline.
I think it's like
April something or another.
I think it's
But-
May 9th, but it's
Okay.
early May, but file before that.
Now the way to do it is in at least in Berrien, we will have some sign up days at our office on Saturdays. We'll be advertising those. The first one will be at our event on the 24th, which you can see on our website. But you can also just go to your county clerk's office and sign up to become a precinct delegate, and that is your on ramp into someday being on TV or being on a live stream with your fellow patriots, right?
Right.
I mean, the
right.
world is really open. We are so blessed in America to be able to take the bull by the horns. Guess who we had to get permission from to do this tonight? Nobody. We
That's
just
right.
did it. We
That's
just
right.
did it. And I
Yeah.
don't know. Jason, you want to close us out? And we're going to shut this down after 5 hours.
Well, I'll say I hope that this is beneficial to the delegates. I know not everybody can always get out to all the different events when the candidates are going around the state. So if you found this useful, please make sure to thank your county party, your district party, and send us a note and let us know what you thought of it.
All right. Hey guys, I'll be busy tonight cutting this video, and we'll get it posted on YouTube, and we'll see what happens. All right.
Sweet.
Thanks everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.